Hey, what's up guys, it's Smasher, and today I'm bringing you a Mass Effect 3 review. Now there was a lot of buzz about this game, and there was a lot of people raging and hating and complaining and just all kinds of drama going on surrounding this title. And so what I wanted to do basically is completely play through the game, completely rank out a character on multiplayer, and see the game in its complete entirety before I put out a review on it. And so that's why you're seeing this come out a week late. I've had enough time to really thoroughly punch through the storyline, play every side mission, quest, whatever. I put a bunch of hours on this game, and then completely play through multiplayer. And I have a bunch of hours on multiplayer too, which actually came as a surprise to me. So without further ado, just so you guys have that in the back of your head, so that I have played through this completely, and I'm not just going off what other people are saying. So I'm a big fan of the Mass Effect series. I was a huge fan of the first Mass Effect. I came to that late. I actually didn't pick it up when it came out. One of my buddies told me later, "Oh, you never played Mass Effect. You need to get down on this." So you know, I back then I played through it. I really enjoyed the choice. Mass Effect 2 was a great game as well. It had its flaws. Both of them had their flaws, but for the most part, overall, the storylines are very, very good. And I was very pleased with both those games. Mass Effect, you know, where I'm coming from, I'm more of a, what you call probably an average gamer when it comes to Mass Effect. Most of the games, I'm an achievement whore, and, you know, I love doing achievements, and I love doing, playing through on high difficulty, and blah, 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 blah. That's not so with Mass Effect. I'm really an average person on Mass Effect. I will play through on normal one time. I'll play through thoroughly. I haven't gone back and played either of the other ones through at all again. And you know, I'm just not interested in it. I'm really playing it as more of a content enthusiast than a hardcore gamer. So let's start with the obvious on the review stuff. Graphics were absolutely stunning. I played this on Xbox, and you know, as far as Xbox goes, you're really limited as to what the hell you can do with the Xbox these days, because it is a ancient piece of computer hardware. But I was really surprised to see that Mass Effect pulled out some pretty amazing graphics with this. The user interface is definitely polished from Mass Effect 2. I was kind of surprised to see how much more and intuitive, and it was a good upgrade. They polished little things. They added a quick save feature, which I thought was fantastic. And you know, it just shows that they paid a bit of attention to detail there. Sound was on par with the last game, which was impressive. throwing it on surround sound or on the headsets, you know, it's an impressive experience, and I really enjoyed it. I played this game a lot on surround sound. Probably annoyed everybody else in my household, but you know, it was definitely worth it. Gameplay is kind of polished from Mass Effect 2, and you know, again, Mass Effect 2 really is my basis for comparison, because it is a continuation of that. The cover system is effective, and it seems to feel more effective than Mass Effect 2, and how you move, your movement, I think, is more polished, and the guns feel meaty in your hands now. And so when I get down and hit somebody with a sniper rifle and just watch their head pop, the sound is there, the graphics are there, and the feel of the gun is there, and it's a good experience, and to carry that through the entire story, I think, was excellent. So that really just covers the basics of the game. The controls, easy to use. Again, intuitive interface with the controls. There's nothing too crazy. Now, normally at this point in the review, I would hit the storyline, but I'm going to skip the story to the end, and we're going to talk about that in detail, since there's been so much hate and rage surrounding it. And so the reason I'm putting it at the end is so that you folks that haven't finished it yet can stop listening to my video. So That's what's going to happen there. I don't want to say anything, screw anything up for anybody. So the story is, in my opinion, fantastic. But again, we'll get to that at the end and we'll discuss in detail. So what we're going to do is dive right into multiplayer. Now, multiplayer, I'm going to be very honest with you and say that I was looking forward to a complete shit multiplayer. I thought it was going to suck. I was exceptionally skeptical about it. You know, I had told many people who had asked me what I thought of it, and I thought it was going to be garbage. And boy, oh boy, I was completely wrong. I thought I was going to probably pump maybe an hour or two into it and be like, you know, that's the end of that. This is hokey and stupid. But I am actually truly 100% enjoying Mass Effect multiplayer. The 4-player co-op is fun. The one thing I will tell you about the multiplayer is it's hard. You know, I don't know how you guys do on Insanity. I've got friends that are sadists and they like to go through and play this game on Insanity. And, you know, I tried playing the first, or which one, I don't know if it was the first or second one. I tried going through it. I think it was the second one. I tried going through it again on Insanity. And I just lost interest after a while. It was hard and it wasn't fun. And, you know, as far as Mass Effect, I just like the stories. I'm not really in it for a first-person shooter. That's, or any kind of shooter. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to go play Battlefield or something. So anyways, the multiplayer is a typical standard horde mode, whatever, that everybody has now. You know, Gears has it. Halo's got it. Everybody's got this horde-type system. And, you know, it's a cool game mode, and it's been proven and it works good. Now how BioWare pulls it off is actually pretty impressive. You play a maximum of 10 rounds. You have 3 different levels you can play on: bronze, silver, or gold, and each one of those levels is exceptionally harder than the last. You know, I've made it with a couple of buddies to the end of silvers and finished out all 10 levels on silver with no problem. I have not done anything on gold. It's freaking hard. But, you know, it's still fun, and I'm sure I'll get to that point in some point in time where I want the challenge and I'll start playing that, but as of right now, I haven't touched it at all. So, but basically what the premise is, you know, you need to survive all these waves. They give you certain missions where you need to run out and little kind of like fetch things. You need to set this beacon or arm this station or download this, hack this code, or whatever it may be. You know, they're little fetch things where you have to basically defend an area. So it is a lot of fun. It's fun to figure out good combinations of the different types of players that you can use from within the Mass Effect. So if you have a Sentinel or a soldier or an engineer, however you're going to mix your team up so that you guys have a diverse group that can handle many different situations. And I'm thinking, from what I've seen from that, it's added a different dynamic to this game mode that some of the other ones were lacking, because you basically would get one character and all 4 of you have to survive. Well, this is adding a little bit more fun to that. So, you know, I again enjoyed it. I highly recommend, if you have this, that you start playing it. Okay, so on to the DLC. Now, I didn't buy the upper edition or the limited edition or whatever, collector edition I think it was called. I said, screw it, I'll just buy the DLC. Now, this again has been another area of contention, and I understand if you bought a collector edition or a limited edition across any video game in the industry, where if you bought that edition, then you get some Avatar Awards, or you get some really cool guns in game, or you get some special armor or something like that. But what BioWare and EA did this time, in my opinion, is unfucking acceptable. What they did is they took something that was a big part of the story, as in this person from the DLC, and they created the game from A to Z, right? And then they said, you know what? We're just going to pull this entire section of the game out, and then we're going to make them pay for it on the side. Now, I can't believe that you would sell somebody a product that was not complete and tell them they need to pay more for it as DLC. It just, I can't fathom what kind of business person this made sense to them when they did this, because it doesn't. Like I said, if you get little bonuses here and there, that makes sense for buying a more expensive edition. But pulling a fucking part of the story out so that you can, and then forcing people to buy it, and then if they don't buy it, leaving this gigantic hole in their game, that's bullshit, in my opinion. So, you know what? It's the execution of the idea in this case that was really bad. And, you know, I purchased the DLC, and I played through it, and I can tell you that it would leave a big hole in the story, in my opinion. That character that you get through that, and the story dynamic that it adds a huge part to the history and the storyline of this entire series. So, multiplayer upgrades for purchase is basically a huge money grab by EA. And as a player, fuck you to EA for putting something like this in our video games. And honestly, you're undermining the very fabric of what games are about. I said, you know, and it really frustrates me that they did that, and it really frustrates me that in the multiplayer that you can pay for upgrades rather than earning them. That's just, you're what kind of message are you sending to America's youth when you say that? You know, all it takes is money, and then your life is going to be great. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. So, anyways, that's enough of me going and getting upset about the stupid Day 1 DLC. The Day 1 DLC, besides the fact that it's bullshit that they made you pay for it was great. It was a great part of the story. I recommend getting it. It added a lot of dynamic to the game, and I truly enjoyed it. But it wasn't something that added. It was something that should have been part of the story to begin with. So, okay, so now I'm going to kick into the storyline, guys. And so for those of you who have not finished the game yet, or have not played the game, or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and say thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe at this point in time. And from here on out, it's major spoiler city. So just go ahead and stop on this part. So, again, we're talking about the ending here. Now, I'm gonna stop real quick, and you know, I discussed the differences in my gameplay with my buddies in detail. And you know what? It's pretty crazy that there's been a lot of differences in between our individual storylines. Now, since Mass Effect 1, I have imported characters from Mass Effect 1 through Mass Effect 3, and each one of those has been a I've completely gone Paragon. That was my choice. I started out as Paragon way back when I played Mass Effect 1. I said, you know what, I'm going to continue completely Paragon through all three stories. So my gameplay and my storylines have reflected nothing but Paragon through this entire thing. So, there's been a few things. One major inconsistency that I still don't understand is why the damn Rachni Queen was back. Now, my buddies have been trying to explain this to me, but whatever. I killed the Rachni Queen way back when as a renegade option, and she was back. I thought that was kind of inconsistent, even though they, you know, the Reapers made the collectors, and they made apparently the Rachni too, and so whatever, you know, I'm gonna drop it. One of the major things that I thought was cool, and I don't know if you guys have gotten this far or not, but when it comes to the Quarians, because I was 100% Paragon, when I got to the Quarian part of the story, my story was completely different than any one of my friends that I've had. Now, in my story, I picked the Geth, and the Geth and the Quarians got along, and they both joined my fleet. I thought that was a really neat thing to happen, but it was Paragon options that got me through that. And so, just curiosity for you, those of you who are playing, I'd like to see what happened between the Geth and the Quarians with you. My buddies had, you know, one of my buddies picked the Geth, and Tally jumped off a cliff and killed herself. And one of my other buddies picked the Quarian. So I'm just curious what you guys did. Did you pick the Quarians or the Geth, and who lived and who died? Just you know, throw that in the comments, because I'd like to see that. The ending. Okay, so the ending. I don't know, guys. I did not think that the ending was that bad. I thought that it was a little, the more I think about it, it's kind of stupid the way it ends, but it's not, oh my god, let's rage, let's do a petition against BioWare and freaking shoot myself in the head and occupy BioWare 2012. I mean, I don't understand the concept of why these guys are flipping out about it. I guess my fanboy level isn't as high as theirs. I'm only like a level 5 fanboy. These guys are like over 9,000. So basically, in my storyline, when I got to the end, because I was 100% Paragon, I had 3 choices. I had, control the Reapers, kill the Reapers, or the third option was, the Singularity. Everybody gets integrated with synthetics. And so, I figured, hey, I've played Paragon through all 3 stories, so, I may as well take that option. And I went and I added my DNA to the gene pool, and it sent out the wave, and everybody became both human and synthetic. Now, I thought that was interesting. I thought that was very interesting, being able to do that. I thought it was kind of lame that Shepard had to die. But, again, BioWare wrote the story, and we're just playing the game, so, it's really ultimately their decision. But the one thing that annoyed me about the end is who the hell are these guys who created the Reapers, and why are they suddenly on board with my team, and they want to be hanging out with me? There's a lot of things that they just hit you with all this crap right at the last 2 minutes of the game, and they didn't explain where any of this shit came from. Now, up until that point, I think they were doing a fantastic job. Look, you got to go get on the comm center and talk to all these people that were on your team throughout the series, and then you got to go down and you got to talk to all your other homies that were going to be on the ship with you, and all of your friends, you're able to talk to them and bring closure to their part of the storyline, and I thought that was fantastic. It's just that last bit there where they don't explain who the hell this kid is, and where the hell he came from, and why he has the power to change all these things. It makes 0 sense. So, anyways, that's kind of my take on the ending. It really wasn't as bad as everybody's raging about, but, it is what it is. So, I'd love to hear your comments, guys, about Mass Effect 3. I know there's a lot of raging going on, and, I did enjoy the story. So, I thought overall it was a great game. This game is definitely a buy, in my opinion. If you're a fan of the series, you like RPGs, you like a little bit of action every now and again, but more of a storyline, this is awesome. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe.